Hello, my name's Sophie and welcome to my channel where there is no discernible theme. Today I'm going to be talking to you about autism because it is Autism Acceptance Month and I am autistic. I got diagnosed with autism and Asperger's last September, so I thought why not share my experience, because a lot of the time people only get their information from like websites and stuff but don't think to actually ask autistic people. So I thought why not make this readily accessible. Small disclaimer, my experience is not everyone else's experience. Autism is a wide spectrum. I like to think of it as a sphere, because I'm not here for that linear high functioning, low functioning shit. So to me it is more like a sphere, because you can have traits from one bit and traits from another side of it and sprinkled here and there, and some can be more intense than others. So therefore autism is different for everyone. So yes, my experience is not going to be anything like anyone else's experience. However, this is just an insight to maybe some of the broader aspects. Despite what I said before, I am going to link a few websites down below that really help explain autism in a really good way. Stuff like the National Autistic Society and the NHS. I thought I'd link some reputable and trustworthy sources. I'm also going to be getting the definition of autism from the National Autistic website, and I have it written down here. According to the National Autistic Society, they define autism as a lifelong developmental disability that affects how people perceive the world and interact with others. Now, while that's accurate, I don't like the whole developmental disability aspect of it, because it implies that the development is stunted or it's bad in some way. And autism is not a stunting or bad thing. Autism is just a different way of thinking and processing and behaving. So I like to think of it as a different development rather than a developmental disability. However, I do know that the disability aspect of it comes from the fact that a lot of people with autism need help. So I do understand why it's there. However, instead of thinking of it as a developmental disability, maybe think of it as a developmental difference, because that's all autism is. It's just a different way of thinking and a different way of figuring things out and processing. Now, a lot of my experience is from me only recently recognising my autistic behaviours, as I wasn't diagnosed till last year when I was 19 and now I am 20. The reason I didn't get diagnosed earlier was because I am DFAB, and although I'm not a girl, I have been treated as such for years. So the school system and like the educational system just kind of brushed my behaviours under a rug, because autism in women is not a very recognised thing. It's mainly focused on men with autism. They thought of me as female, so they just kind of dismissed any behaviours I had. I also have anxiety, and a lot of anxiety and autism share similar traits, and I also have situational depression. So a lot of the aftermath of certain autistic traits could be just seen as depression, and that's what a lot of the stuff was thought as. So a lot of the stuff I'm talking about now is just from the last few months of me getting to know myself again. I like to describe myself as very autistic because it's really helped me recognise my behaviours, who I am, and how my autism affects me, so I shall get right into it. I have a lot of the classic autistic traits. I'm not good with sound at all. Anything that's louder than usual, dishes clinking together, a car door slamming, someone shouting, I can't deal with it at all. It really hurts my ears, just clouds my brain, and it gets too much because to me there's too much going on. So I can't really deal with social situations because there'll be a conversation going and then another one and then another one and then another one, and then there'll be people shouting and like doors closing, people raising their voice. So I can't really deal with that. I also can't deal with things like washing the dishes or having a really clicky keyboard, because that noise to me as well is really too much. It's just too much for me. I can't deal with lights either, although it's not as bad. Like you can see in the reflection of my glasses, I currently have a really big lamp on me. However, it's starting to grate on me a little bit, but it's not too bad. I can't go into shops with really bright lights for a long amount of time because it overwhelms me. I also can't deal with heat. I can deal with being really, really cold and like freezing. That doesn't bother me at all. But I don't like being overly hot. It's not a good time. That's one of like the surefire ways to get me to panic. I can't deal with certain textures either. Say my cardigan gets wet, like just the arm or something, I have to take my cardigan off straight away because I can't deal with the wet cloth touching my skin. And even thinking about it now really makes my skin crawl because I just can't deal with it. It's not a good feeling. I also can't deal with stuff like silk or satin or whatever, but that's less of an issue because I don't come across that an awful lot. I also don't like the feeling of water unless I'm in a really good place. So, like, obviously, of course, I'll wash my hands and I'll have a shower and stuff, but I won't enjoy it. The feeling is not nice. It's not a good feeling for me. I also can't deal a lot with people I don't know touching me. So, say I'm in a crowd, I can't deal with the closeness and people like brushing their shoulders with mine and like jostling and stuff. I don't like that. And say if someone I've just met goes for a handshake, I will shake their hand, but I don't like it, and it really stresses me out and it really panics me, and it's not a good time. So then this leads to me hating crowds and hating places with people, especially people I don't know, because I don't like unknown situations. I don't like going somewhere and not knowing what I'm doing. I like to have a plan, I like to have a structure. I don't like just being told, oh yeah, we're going there today. I can't do that. I need time to know. I have to have a few days in advance to know what I'm doing and set myself up for it, which also makes people changing plans really hard for me. So say if I'm meeting up with a friend at 11 and they go, oh no, can we meet at 12 instead? I will still be there for 11, and it will panic me that they're not there for the extra hour. I don't like plans changing. I think that's a really big autistic trait. I really don't like it. It stresses me out and it panics me because why can't we do what we planned? That's how it gets in my head. Like, if I have a plan, it cements itself in there and then I can't deal with any changes towards that plan. I also have a sensory processing disorder with my hearing, which makes social situations even worse a lot of the time, because unless I am straight focused on one person with no other background noise or anything, someone can tell me something and it'll take about 10 seconds to a minute to fully go in, and I will have to ask them again and again to repeat themselves until I get it, which can be really, really awkward and really, really annoying most of the time. However, a lot of the time I'm just awkward anyway. I think that's just me. So, although I'm awkward and I'm not really good with social situations, if I find someone that I like and they're my friend, I can go from very distant and not responsive to overly affectionate and loyal in a heartbeat. I don't really have a grey area where that's concerned. It's more of a black and white. I can be distant and really reclusive, or I can be overly affectionate and in their face 24/7. I don't really have an in-between. So recognising that I have autism has led me to start setting boundaries, realising people's limits as well as my own. However, that's also led to asking questions, and although I ask questions a lot anyway, a lot of the questions now, instead of just being normal questions that I ask over and over, just like, did I tell you about that one thing the other day? And then 10 minutes later I'd say, did I tell you about that one thing that happened the other day? And then a few minutes later, did I tell you about that one thing? Instead of stuff like that, it tends to turn into, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Do you need me to get you anything? Are you sure? I can. Do you want me to go over there? I can go over there for a bit if you want me to. I don't mind, it's fine. Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? You're not uncomfortable, are you? I'm not making you uncomfortable, are you? So instead of being overly affectionate and stuff, I get overly questioning. And then that's also led me to realise my overly empathetic nature. Now, I know a lot of people have the misconception that autistic people are very apathetic and they don't have any empathy, but that's not true. I feel like, again, it's one of those black and white things. You either have little to no empathy or you have far too much empathy. Now, my empathy leads me to think like feeling that other people's problems are my problems, and I will try my very, very best to help, even if the help is not wanted or warranted, because I feel so much for them. It also leads me to having 2 shelffuls of teddies right above me, because I can't get rid of them. Because what if I gave them to the charity shop and then they missed me? Or they felt abandoned and they never loved again? How could I deal with that stress? Like, it panics me just thinking about getting rid of them. And I know that's silly, but what's even sillier is now I feel that way about blankets. I have a load of blankets on my bed and I can't get rid of them. I can't move them off my bed because what if they get lonely? What if they get sad that I put them elsewhere? Like, they're just pieces of cloth, and yet I feel this way. However, those blankets are very good for stimming reasons. Stimming is mainly a repetitive behaviour that self-stimulates, so it can help either calm you down or it can help you show emotions. It also helps calm a lot of people down and like stop them having like meltdowns and stuff, which I will go to in a minute. I stim an awful lot, both to calm myself down and just when I'm generally happy or to get myself out of meltdowns. I rock, and I really like rocking. It's just really calming and soothing, so I just do this when I'm content. or say I'm working on something and I just kind of do it without thinking. I also have teddies again because they're soft. I have a lot of blankets because they're soft, and something that really helps me is just burying my face into soft fabric. When I'm stressed, I have a spinner ring which I got from Stimtastic, which deals with stim toys. And stim toys are just another method of stimming, and they help. So say if someone chews as a stimming mechanism, there is like chewy jewellery, or there are some like weighted teddies and stuff which help for pressure, because pressure is a really good way of stimming. Sometimes you just need to feel a bit weighed down, and that's a really good way of just stopping becoming so stressed. I pace as well when I'm stressed, and I flex my hands an awful lot. I tend to just flex and like do that and stuff. That's a really big thing when I'm stressed, or if I'm approaching a meltdown. However, when I'm happy, I tend to wiggle and just kind of, oh, it's good. I also flap when I'm really happy, because flapping is a really good way of getting out energy, and it's just really nice. It just feels really good, and oh, I just love it, and it's just good. It just feels really, really nice. Now, I mentioned before that stimming is a really good way to put meltdowns off or help you get out of meltdowns. Meltdowns are a lot of the time caused by sensory overload. And sensory overload is when there is so much happening to your senses, like your ears are just bombarded with noise, you probably like smell some weird things, there's probably lights and stuff, and you just get so overwhelmed that it feels like your head is imploding and your body is disintegrating, and it's awful. For a long time I thought my meltdowns were either panic attacks or anxiety attacks. However, recently I've been able to decipher which is which. Panic attacks often leave me feeling a bit dissociative, and I'll be like that for a few hours to maybe a day or two until I get over it, and I'll need like a little nap afterwards. However, meltdowns leave me exhausted for days, and I need so much sleep afterwards to overcome that. Meltdowns are very nice. I know for me, when I'm having a meltdown, it helps to have someone there with me that I trust, just chatting away to me about nothing, and just to be like chill and just talk to take my mind off things. And if I know that person well enough, I don't mind being touched. However, if I don't know the person, I won't let them touch me, and it'll just make me worse. So if you do see an autistic person having a meltdown, or you know that person well enough, maybe ask just in case that happens, so you can help them best, because a lot of autistic people don't like people touching them, and that's perfectly okay. So yes, that is my experiences. I hope you guys enjoyed listening and maybe have a better grip on what autism is and how it affects people. I hope you guys have a good Autism Acceptance Month, and if you want me to do any more videos like this in the future, please let me know. I would love to do more. I already have a few planned. So yes, if you do the whole like, comment, subscribe thing, please do that if you're into it, and I shall see you in the next video, whenever that is. Have a nice day, bye! Want to say hello?